What's up, gamers? And back in the 2010s, there was one anime that ruled every recommendation list, and that anime was... So I actually watched Death Note back in 2019, but for some reason I never finished the show. I stopped halfway through. So in this video, I'm gonna look at why I stopped the show early and what makes it so good. We start off the anime being our main character, Light Yagami. He has exceeded everything he's tried in life, and he's even the top scorer in Japan. So he spends most of his time just bored in class, staring out the window. That's until he sees his notebook fall from the sky. So he decides to take the notebook home and reads all the rules that come with it, which there's a lot of. But basically, if you know a person's face and write their name down in the notebook, they'll die from a heart attack. Light doesn't believe this at first, but just so happens on the TV at the same time there's a hostage situation. So he decides to test out the Death Note on the criminal. The Death Note ends up working, and with this power, Light realizes that he has the power to change the world. So he uses the Death Note to kill thousands of criminals throughout the world, creating a new symbol of justice, Kara. This of course gets the attention of every government and detective across the world, one of which is L, who instantly figures out that the first victim of the Death Note is this guy. But Light has planned for this. So to make sure no one ever finds the Death Note, he builds this complicated ass fucking firebomb so it blows up the Death Note. At the same time, L goes on the news calling out Kira, saying what he does is murder and that he'll be caught. This pisses off Light, so he decides to kill him. But then it turns out that the man on the broadcast was actually just a criminal set there by L. Also, the broadcast was only being aired in the Kanto region of Japan. This starts off the chase between Light and L, but there's no way they would run into each other. After being up, L immediately tells Light that he thinks he's Kira, and then Light's like, what? No way. But to prove his innocence to L, he decides to join him in his investigation of Kira. And this dynamic leads to some of the best moments in the show, with them constantly going back and forth with each other. For example, L sets up cameras in Light's house. Light figures this out, so he comes up with this genius plan to eat potato chips while studying, when in actuality he's using his left hand to write in the Death Note, causing one of the most iconic scenes in anime.
I can continue to kill criminals whose names are broadcast on the news, while masquerading as a typical high school student studying for his entrance exams. Just watch me, L. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
And that's one thing I really love about Death Note. Light has so much personality. He's fucking insane. Every episode he's fucking screaming all the time. And any other anime with a super smart character like this, they would be played pretty straight and bland with no emotions. But Light's just a fucking nutcase. And that's mainly because of his voice actor. He kills it throughout the show. There are so many voice lines of him that are just our memes. This one was pretty big on TikTok, but this one's my favorite.
Damn it! He got me!
There are other characters besides Light and L. You got Ryuk, who's the Shinigami who gave Light the Death Note, and you've probably seen him in the background of this video.
I don't trust nobody. Threw up by some pills, I don't trust my own body. You would take a shot and you took her to Chrome Palace. It only took me one car, got a dome matter. Just hit this hoe, her boyfriend put me for a show. I'm rocking white and gold, it look like I got my time. Water coming in and out, it never was a drop. Try the opposition, he that tripling head. Pay attention, pay attention.
No reason to act surprised. I am the Shinigami Ryuk. That used to be my notebook. Judging by your laughter, you've already figured out that what you have is no ordinary notebook. Why was I chosen for this? I didn't choose you. Don't you see this is all just an accident? You actually thought you were chosen because you're so smart or something?
Better late than never, better late than never. You're better late than never, better late than never.
Ryuk spends most of the show just chilling though. Then you got Light's dad, who's the head of the Japanese police department, which I just feel bad for throughout the show. Bro just goes through it. Then you got the Kara task force, which in most other anime they would just be in the background meat writing, but they actually hold their own throughout the show. My favorite has to be Mochi, just from this one
I'll give you this strawberry if you keep it a secret, okay? I'm impressed as always, Ryuzaki.
And then I also really like Mazda, because every episode he gets fucking yelled at.
We're over there right now. Matsuda.
Then you got Misa, who's also owner of a Death Note, and is in love with Light because he's Kira. But Light pretty much hates her ass because he sees her as another loose end, which she ends up being right about, because she ends up getting both Light and herself locked up in confinement by L. But this leads to one of the greatest arcs in anime. So to get out of this situation, Light gives up possession of the Death Note, so all of his memories goes way of being Kira. At the same time, new Kira appears affairs. So then Light and L have to work together to find this Kara. They eventually end up arresting him and getting hold of the Death Note, but this is all part of Light's plan to get the Death Note back so he can regain his memories. After this, L basically corners Misa's Shinigami to kill L in a pretty badass scene.
What is this? A blackout?
Where's the Shinigami?
Good question. I don't see it.
Disappeared. What's going on? Everyone, Shinigami.
Immediately after this, we get shown these like 2 off-brand L's, and this is where I stopped watching the show. I really have no clue why that pissed me off so much, but honestly the rest of the show is just as amazing. They definitely upped the ante with like fucking Light's dad straight up getting fucking shot and killed, and I really loved the second Kara arc.
God recognized me, as I had always hoped.
The anime ends with one final face-off between Light and Nier that takes place in this abandoned building, and Light's great fucking plan to get Nier is to have this goober peek through the door and write everyone's name down. This ends up not working because this fucker has like the cell of the century. After that, Light does the meme laugh and then gets shot like a fucking Looney Tune character.
His blood!
That's all, folks.
Overall, I'm really happy I came back to finish Death Note, even though the second half is a little bit weaker, but still the show is still a masterpiece. I think it's one of the most rewatchable anime ever, and one thing I really noticed on my rewatch is that Light is doing too much. Like, bro could have just chilled in his room the whole time, and his ass probably would have never gotten caught. And that's about it. See you, gamers.
Who are you?
Like Yagami.
Farewell, Ray Penber.